We have explored pulling up information related to people and places using ChatGPT. Now let's look at pulling up information related to things. Now, early in this course, we used the Wikipedia random generator to randomly generate different topics. One of the ones that pulled up is one of my favorites, which is, of course, Rapalidia ornithiceps, which is some sort of paper wasp. Never heard of it before, but I want to see what ChatGPT knows about this really specific thing that I can't really figure out how to pronounce correctly. And so it does reveal to us that it is indeed a paper wasp found in India. Gives some ideas of the body length and more information around it, in addition to the nests that are found, which contain hundreds of individual wasps. So you can compare and contrast what you learn about a specific thing inside of ChatGPT with Wikipedia here. And as I mentioned previously in previous lessons, if you're wanting to see images, Wikipedia is a better option than ChatGPT, but this is one specific species of a paper wasp. You could go up a level and find out more information about the different types of paper wasps in the world. And here, going up a level, we get a list here of several different types of paper wasps, as well as their names and locations where they may be found. And then a general summation in the end that paper wasps are found on every continent except Antarctica. And so revisiting this topic inside of Wikipedia, there's a mention of the Catalogue of Life. I want to explore the Catalogue of Life further using ChatGPT starting in the next lesson. Let's explore this concept of the Catalogue of Life. This is a topic that you may or may not have heard of before, but I'm going to copy this and then place this inside of the thread. I'll go ahead and start a new thread actually by clicking New Thread here at the top left. And then I will ask, what is the Catalogue of Life? And let's see what sort of information we can glean from ChatGPT. And so at a very high level, it is a comprehensive and authoritative list of names of all known species of plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms. It is maintained by the Species 2000 organization, a consortium of taxonomic institutions from around the world. Sounds like a fun group. The goal of the catalog is to provide a standard reference for use in scientific research and conservation efforts. So I want to look up who the Species 2000 organization is by saying, tell me more about, then I'll paste that in, the Species 2000 organization. So you can see here, as you follow the breadcrumbs or follow different topics or hone in on things, you may learn some new things and ask further questions and follow up and continue on. The nice thing about ChatGPT is it remembers the previous questions. Now, unfortunately, no further information here on Species 2000 organization. Let me refer back to Catalogue of Life, and here we have the Species 2000 and further information there. So you'll see that even though ChatGPT does have information on a lot of topics, it's not quite as wide and deep as something like a Wikipedia. Now, over time, I imagine that will grow as this machine language learns and improves over time, and that's part of the goal here that it states. So going back a level to the Catalogue of Life, I'm going to ask, where can I access the Catalogue of Life to see if it can point me to a specific location or not? So this does tell you that it does not provide information on where you can access the Catalogue of Life, but then reiterates that it's maintained by the Species 2000 organization and encourages you to find information by searching for Species 2000 organization online. And so here would be the URL for the Catalogue of Life. It's catalogueoflife.org, and then you could search from there. So it would be nice if ChatGPT did provide URLs and links, and perhaps over time it will, but for now, some limitations that we're coming up against once again. Now we're going to continue on accessing other types of things. Remember, we've been dealing with people, places, and things, so we've been exploring different types of nouns in the context of what is known about them on ChatGPT. So we'll continue on in the next lesson looking at a specific song that we pulled up earlier. We'll do that next. This is a song that's pulled up randomly by the Wikipedia random generator. This is a song called A Little in Love by Paul Brandt. This was released on October 2nd of 1997. It reached number 1 on the Canada Country Tracks list, but only reached number 45 in the US. And so this may not be a notable enough song and or artist to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and then see if I can find more information related to this song via ChatGPT. I'm going to start a new thread. And I'll go ahead and place this inside of quotes to denote that as the title of the song. Tell me more about the song A Little in Love. perhaps not notable enough. We'll see if it comes up with anything. And so we see that it is pulling up information related to a song, but not the song that we're looking for. This is a song from the musical The Little Prince by composer Lucy Simon and lyricist Don Black, not the song by Paul Brandt. So I'm going to see if I can get more information related to the song, but specified by Paul Brandt, to do a rephrase. And so for this particular song, an artist is not familiar with that one. So let's explore the song from the musical The Little Prince, A Little in Love, and see if we can pull in the lyrics. It's given us some details around the song, which is sung by the character of the Little Prince, expressing his longing for the rose he has fallen in love with. It is a poignant and beautiful ballad that captures the little prince's innocent and pure love for the rose. So sorry, Paul Brandt, but we don't have information on you, so we're going to dig deeper into this particular song. So I'm going to ask you to show me the lyrics for the song A Little in Love from The Little Prince. And let's see if it will actually share the lyrics or if that will be blocked because of copyright. And so the display of lyrics is blocked. Apparently that would be a copyright consideration. And so suffice it to say that we can only get a description of the song from ChatGPT, but they're avoiding copyright claims by not providing the actual lyrics. It's telling us it can't display lyrics, but it can tell you that it is a ballad sung by the character of the Little Prince. And once again, it expresses his longing for the rose he has fallen in love with. So we'll follow this thread of songs and music and lyrics and see if ChatGPT can write an original song lyric for us starting in the next lesson. We have not been able to pull in lyrics for this song. This is a song that was from a musical that was based on a book. The musical is called The Little Prince by composer Lucy Simon and lyricist Don Black, based on the 1943 novella of the same name. So I looked up The Little Prince musical. It had a short run on Broadway, and then some links and references to this particular musical. I don't have the actual lyrics to that song, but what I want to see is if I can give some details around what the topic of that ballad is and see if ChatGPT can come up with its own song lyrics or make up a song with this title. I'm going to copy this. I'm asking it to please give me original song lyrics in the style of a country song about, and then I'm going to paste in here, a ballad sung by the character of the Little Prince and expresses his longing for the rose he has fallen in love with. It returns the lyrics. These would be original lyrics for a country song about the Little Prince and his love for the rose. Gives you a verse, a chorus, a verse 2, a chorus, and even a bridge, and then the chorus once again. Not that I'm going to sing this, but we'll read some of this here. I'm just a little in love, but it feels like so much more with a heart that's pure and true. I'll love her till I'm through. And then we get to the chorus, my rose, my love, my light. You make my world so bright. I'll cherish every moment in your arms. I'm content. Now that's some good rhyming right there. Verse 2, I may be just a boy, but my love is strong and real. I'll give you everything, my heart, my soul, my will. Back to the chorus, which I've read before. I'm going to sing it. Let's hit the bridge, shall we? I may be small and fragile, but my love is mighty and true. I'll hold on to you forever, my rose, I'm forever yours. And then we round things out with the chorus. So what I'm going to do just for grins is I'm going to ask it the same question again, ask the same request again for a country song with the same exact wording and see if it gives me something different or the same as far as if it can create yet another original song lyric for me in the style of a country song. What I found with the generation of these ChatGPT song lyrics is it typically does give you a couple of verses, a bridge, and a chorus as well as a common refrain. But let's see what it does here if we ask it again. And I'll also put this in a PDF as well so that you can review this or download it to your heart's content. Feel free to set this to music, ideally set to country music. Upload that to YouTube, tag me, put it on LinkedIn or somewhere. And that way you can share your own creation with the world. It'll be the first ever collab between yourself and ChatGPT. May just be the next big country hit, but let me review this here and see if this is any different. It says here are some revised lyrics for a country song about the Little Prince and his love for the rose. Looks like the bridge may be different, maybe not. Looks the same here, so it's saying it's revised, but I'll just have to paste those in a PDF and see. So we'll continue on. We'll look at other works of art and see how creative ChatGPT can get, perhaps with fictional storytelling. We'll do that in the next lesson. Where things get really interesting is when you ask ChatGPT to create original things based on prompts that you provide it. So we have explored the creation of original country music lyrics in previous lessons. So now we want to work on a work of fiction. I want to do a short story. I want to ask ChatGPT to create a love story between a paper wasp and a kite that they together fly too close to the sun, and see what it comes up with. So for my prompt, I've typed up, please create a short story about a paper wasp who falls in love with a kite. They fly too close to the sun and their love burns out. So let's see what ChatGPT can come up with, shall we? Once upon a time, in a beautiful meadow filled with wildflowers, there lived a paper wasp named Willow. She lived with her colony in a small paper nest that they had built together in the branches of a tall oak tree. Willow was a gentle and kind wasp, but she was also adventurous and loved to explore the world around her. One day, while out on a flight, Willow came across a beautiful kite that was flying high in the sky. The kite was a stunning shade of blue with long flowing streamers that danced in the wind. Willow was immediately drawn to the kite, and she began to follow it wherever it went. As she flew alongside the kite, Willow felt her heart begin to flutter. She had never felt this way before, and she knew that she was falling in love. The kite seemed to sense her feelings, and it began to fly even higher, inviting Willow to follow. Without hesitation, Willow accepted the kite's invitation, and the two of them soared higher and higher into the sky. They flew together for hours, lost in the beauty of the moment and the exhilaration of flight. But as they flew, Willow and the kite grew closer and closer to the sun, and as they flew too close, their love began to burn, consumed by the heat of the sun. In the end, their love was extinguished, and Willow and the kite fell from the sky, their brief, fiery love a memory. Coming off the heels of that work of art that ChatGPT just created related to the paper wasp falling in love with the kite and their love burning out, an amazing masterpiece, I might add, which I've included as a downloadable resource in the previous lesson. Now I want to continue on this theme of creating original works of art and writing by way of creating a haiku using ChatGPT. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to write a haiku. And here I'm asking it to please write a haiku about a paper wasp who is struck by lightning, catches fire, and starts a forest fire. And so the thing about haikus, they're succinct, and it's captured all of this information from my prompt and has written an original work of art here. As it reads, paper wasp flying high, struck by lightning, flames ignite, forest fire born. So continuing on with other haiku possibilities, here's a prompt that just came to me. Don't ask me where these come from, but I'm asking ChatGPT to please write a haiku about a lost paper clip stuck in a shoe of an NFL football player who is carted off on a stretcher, exposing the paper clip to a live TV audience. Go, ChatGPT. Once again, another work of art. It reads, lost paper clip found, stuck in a shoe on the field, live TV, oops. Finally, one third and final haiku. So here is the prompt that I've elected to go with. Please write a haiku for me that I could post on LinkedIn to let my network know I'm looking for a job as a stenographer. Go, ChatGPT. And from the haiku heavens, ChatGPT has generated, in search of a job, skilled in stenography, please contact me soon. That is haiku gold. Let's continue on with more original works by way of ChatGPT. We've previously used ChatGPT to write a fictional country song. Now, the fascinating thing about ChatGPT is it can write in the style of different genres of music and also pull in information from known entities such as TV shows. In this example or prompt, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to turn Breaking Bad, the TV show, into a Broadway musical, and to please give me the lyrics for the final song in this fictional musical. So it's going to give an attempt here and check out what it does and how it approaches this process. Now, there may be some spoilers if you've not watched all of Breaking Bad. You may not want to read these lyrics, but it's saying, sure, I can take a stab at that. Here are the lyrics for the final song in a hypothetical Broadway musical adaptation of Breaking Bad. So we got the narrator opening things, and then some lines by Walter White, and then as well Jesse Pinkman. Chorus, Breaking Bad, Breaking Bad. We tried to play the game, but in the end it's just a show, and now it's time to say goodbye. Walter saying, I thought I had it all figured out, but now I see the truth. I let my ego get the best of me, and now I've lost it all. As I mentioned, spoilers ahead. Jesse Pinkman realizing he's just a pawn in his game, but now I'm breaking free, etc., etc. Then the chorus, and then the narrator. Very interesting approach. Now I'm going to ask you to do it again, and let's see if it comes up with something different. And this is what's fascinating with ChatGPT, is it doesn't do the same thing sometimes. All right, so I'm going to start a new thread, try this again, see if I can get something different, or if it does the same thing again, just out of curiosity more than anything. And here's a new version. Walter White, he was a man with a plan and a dream, but things didn't go as he had planned, and now it seems his journey's at an end. Here's the chorus. Breaking bad, the curtain falls and the story ends, but the legacy lives on in the choices that we made. Breaking bad, breaking bad. Ooh, verse 2 has some goodies in it. From Kim, teacher, to crystal meth, kingpin, Walter soared, but then he fell. He lost it all in the end. His empire crumbled, and he said farewell. Then back to the chorus once again. And then the bridge. Those are always good. In the end, it's not about the money or the power or the fame. It's about the choices that we make and the people that I think it should be, became instead of become. And then once again, the chorus, breaking bad, etc., etc. Curtain closes. We've seen ChatGPT reimagine TV shows as Broadway musicals, write haikus and short stories. Let's see if ChatGPT can come up with a story from Mona Lisa's perspective as she daydreams about life beyond the gallery and trying to ignore the constant stares. Let's go, ChatGPT. What you got? And so from that prompt, ChatGPT has created a pretty well-written piece here from the perspective of Mona Lisa, and it does weave into the narrative some facts about this work of art. It does reside inside of the Louvre, which is located inside the city of Paris. It gives the perspective of how much she would love the idea of exploring the city. She also knew it would mean leaving the safety and comfort of the Louvre behind. She wasn't sure if she was ready for that kind of adventure. Also, ChatGPT is good to weave in the goals of the prompt as well, as far as ignoring the constant stares of the visitors, and leave some hope at the end as well, interestingly enough. But deep down, she knew that one day she would break free and explore the world beyond the gallery walls. I'll put this in a PDF for you to download and read in order to take this in as well. And I encourage you to explore your own ideas from the world of art and fiction, and exploring using different prompts for ChatGPT to write stories from different perspectives that maybe you hadn't thought about before. You can use ChatGPT for writing prompts. One idea would be to have ChatGPT create character biographies for you to use in your stories and works of fiction. I'll give a prompt here as an example. So for my prompt, I have a few details around a fictional character ideas. So I'm asking ChatGPT to please provide a character biography for a fictional character named Harry. Harry is an unethical pawn shop owner in London who is left-handed, hard of hearing, and follows horse racing. So let's see what ChatGPT can come up with by way of a character biography for Harry. And so now we have added some further details by way of ChatGPT that tells us that not only is Harry hard of hearing, he relies on a hearing aid to communicate with customers, and as well, he's often placing bets at a local horse racing track. His gambling habit has put him in financial trouble and has been known to resort to illegal means to make ends meet. And then sums things up that despite his flaws, Harry is a cunning businessman who will stop at nothing to make a profit. So I want to ask a further question related to Harry, asking how does Harry commit financial crimes in his pawn shop? And so here ChatGPT leaves it to the writer to come up with how Harry commits crimes, and restating that the biography only states that Harry is known for his unethical business practices and been known to resort to illegal means to make ends meet. It's up to the writer to decide how Harry specifically commits financial crimes in his pawn shop. So I'm going to ask a more generic question, as in how might one commit fraud in a pawn shop? All right, so going back and asking a more generic question as far as trying to get ideas of how fraud can be committed in a pawn shop gives me different options. One would be to misrepresent the value or authenticity of items that are being pawned, such as being made out of real gold when it's actually cheaper metal, or claiming a watch is a limited edition when it's actually a fake. Another way would be to commit fraud in a pawn shop by selling stolen items to the pawn shop without disclosing that they are stolen. This would be more the customer committing fraud more than the pawn shop owner in this example. So we could take some pieces of information found in how you can commit fraud in a pawn shop, add that to the biography, and get further or deeper into our story idea here. And so here I've got an inkling of an idea for the story based on the biography and based on some ways that fraud can be committed by way of a pawn shop owner. So I'm asking in this prompt, what is a possible complication if Harry were to sell a stolen watch to Sally, whom he comes to fall in love with, but doesn't have the heart to tell her he is ripping her off? Let's see what chat. And we hit an error. Let me try a new thread here. Paste this back in here. Since this is a new thread, there's no history here for it to draw upon, so I'm going to add a further context. What is the possible complication if Harry, an unethical pawn shop owner, were to sell a stolen watch to Sally, whom he comes to fall in love with, but doesn't have the heart to tell her he's ripping her off? Error. All right, so trying again. Let's see what ChatGPT can come up with here. And this is where we're trying to get some actual story beats or plot points or ideas for where we might take this story further, going beyond biography into plot. All right, so this gives a couple of story beats that you could explore that would be natural consequences of this. One possible complication would be that if he were to sell a stolen watch to Sally, someone that he comes to fall in love with, is that their relationship would become damaged, and if she were to find out that it was stolen, she may feel betrayed and angry that Harry had lied to her and taken advantage of her. This could further lead to a breakdown in trust and communication between them, which could ultimately cause their relationship to end. Additionally, Harry could face legal consequences for selling stolen property, which could further complicate the situation. So you can see from this example here that you can go from not only a character biography, but introduce other characters, also present some potential challenges, and ask ChatGPT some potential pitfalls, complications, areas or directions that the story may go from there. I encourage you to try out ChatGPT for your own storytelling devices and character biographies and see what you can come up with by way of this amazing tool.